Hey Busy Bees, it's Mommy Leandra, and today I am so excited because I'm talking about one of my very favorite subjects in the entire world, which is what's been taking up so much of my time this year, which is PlanDisney. It was formerly known as the Disney Moms Parks panel. If that's not right, I'm putting that right here. And essentially it's just a bunch of guests just like you who will answer your questions about Disney Vacation. So for Disney Vacation Club, for Walt Disney World Resort, which is my specialty, Disneyland Resort, and also Disney Cruise Line. So what's really cool about this resource is that basically if you want a customized answer for your situation, this is the place to go. So the reason why I'm doing this video though, although like the majority of my channel is about going to the theme parks with my kids, subscribe to see more of that Florida family fun and travel content. But the PlanDisney Search for 2024 is coming up really soon at the time of this recording. So I just want to give you some tips about like mistakes that I made my first year applying and what I changed the second year applying. Not saying that that's what got me on the panel. I feel like your chances will go up to make the panel if you are hopeful, if you take some of this advice. Also, I wanted to share my PlanDisney story because honestly, I want to reflect. It's been an amazing 2023. I just can't imagine my life without PlanDisney at this point because it is the best community that you will ever be a part of if you are a Disney fan and you like writing and you like talking to people. So anyway, that's what this video is all about and I'm so excited. So let's get into it and let's talk about my story. Okay, so back when I was at the University of Florida, so I was a wee child. I remember just like Google searching something for like a Disney park and I just wanted to know an answer. So PlanDisney in its former name actually popped up as one of my search results. And I was like, wait, is this person like a legit real guest, like talking about their experiences instead of just giving me straight up information? I thought that was so cool. And then fast forward to 2020, I was like, wasn't there this like really cool thing that I found out about like 8-9 years ago that you could like write and also talk to guests and also talk about like, you know, my happy place, which all of you know is Disney. And then I realized, oh wait, there's no search this year. Why? Of course, because of COVID. The next year in 2021, there was a search for the class of 2022 and I wanted to be a part of it. Spoiler alert, I was not a part of it. So they selected 29 other people who weren't Mommy Leandra. So I was pretty bummed. I do feel like I made a couple of mistakes, but honestly, with so many people who apply, which by the way, there is no real disclosed number of how many people apply each year. However, I did find this New York Times article from, I believe, 2019 or 2020. And that's my friend Anna, hey Anna, where they actually said that there were over 10,000 applicants, but I don't know if that's true or not. And they only select between, I mean, honestly, it could be any number. Someone can correct me in the comment section, but I think the lowest number of a class, I think was like 8 or 9. And the highest was 2022, which was 29 people in that class. It's just amazing the fact that so many people apply, but only so few make it each year. It's really a huge, it's a big deal for me and it is an honor to have this role. So I do want to say that as well. A couple of classmates who have been applying for over 10 years. So you have to keep trying. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here. PlanDisney actually kind of sparked the new iteration of Mom is in the Mood, this YouTube channel, because I was already kind of vlogging, doing lifestyle stuff, but then I was like, wait, I go to the park so much, why don't I give information to guests? And this will give me good practice if I do ever make the panel. Well, I feel like in a way that kind of, number one, it was like therapy for me because I was like boohoo crying that I didn't make it to the last round last year, but also it was just a really good way of still helping without having that PlanDisney title and doing all of the PlanDisney things. So then 2022 rolled around, search opened, And not only that, but they said, hey, this year training is going to be at Disneyland Resort instead of Walt Disney World Resort, as it has been the past 14, 15 years. And literally right there, I remember looking at my husband and I was like, I feel like I'm making it this year. I know it's my second year, but I'm making it. He's like, why do you say that? I'm like, because I hate flying. And I swear the universe will somehow make its way to get me on a plane some way, somehow. And so I was like, because I have to fly to training, this is going to be my year. Disneyland Resort, I'm coming for you in December 2022. For the round one part of the application, you actually have to answer a series of questions. One of the questions, you even pretend that you're writing one of the questions from like the PlanDisney site. So if you are applying, quick tip, go to the PlanDisney website to see what some of the answers look like so you understand what the overall general template is. But of course, you always are going to have totally different styles. Some of my classmates are like super chill. Some of them are very straightforward. Some of them are very, very flamboyant. I do kind of like a mix. I'm a mixed bag panelist, but we're all totally different, but it's great to practice. So that's a bonus tip, because that's not even on my list of tips that I was going to give you at the end of the video. Anyway, I made it to round two, which was like my minimum for myself. I'm like, look, I made it to round two last year. I gotta make that video and make it to round two again this year. And by the way, if that does not happen for you, let's say you make it to round two your first year and then you don't make it to round two your second year, you listen to Mommy Leandra. Keep applying. Please keep applying, because just because you don't make it all the way one year, or you make it all the way to round three one year and then you don't make it to round three the next year, or some other weird combination, keep going, be persistent. So round two is very similar to round one, where you're answering just questions about yourself and, you know, whatever the questions may be, because they're different every year. But there's also a 60-second video. Now, if you want to know what the requirements and steps are going to be specifically for this year, be sure to go to PlanDisneySearch.com to get the most up-to-date information, because something may have changed when they open up search again this year. Then historically, round three is when you get a phone call or even a Zoom call where you actually meet with the admin team and they get to know you via interview. I actually think I freaked out more when I got the round three call than when I actually made the panel, but you can be the judge of that. So like I boohoo cried when I found out that I made round three, but for round, when I actually made it, I cried, but it was like, I was so dehydrated because they surprised me at a Run Disney race that literally it was just like, like nothing was coming out. So I made it to round three. I was super, super nervous for the Zoom call for some reason. I don't know if I was like on my A game or not. It was Halloween. So I was like wearing Haunted Mansion ears. It ended up being the most comfortable, easygoing conversation. So if you do make it to round three, the interview process, like, telling you, I had like note cards, flashcards. Don't even do it to yourself. Play Fantasmic. That's what I did. I played the Fantasmic exit music. I pumped myself up. I prayed. I had my flashcards. Honestly, everything I did was great, but just omit the flashcards. Just be yourself and have fun in that interview. So then I actually made it on the panel. So I'll tell you how they surprised me. A lot of my classmates, you know, they got phone calls. Some of them were surprised in the park. Some of them had a Zoom call surprise, which was really cool. I actually was surprised at the end of running a half marathon, which I actually finished behind the balloon ladies. So I almost got swept. That basically means that they almost took me off the course and I didn't finish. But I finished, and the admin team was waiting right there with balloons saying, congratulations, you made the class of 2023. The PlanDisney panel. I was so excited. You have no idea. Like, it was the best day of my life. I mean, I just completed a half marathon and I became a PlanDisney panelist. Like, swoon. It was amazing. That next day was a whirlwind. The community for PlanDisney is very, very small. There are only fewer than 300 PlanDisney panelists at the moment. And so the fact that it's such a small community, it's such a lot, like we have such a large heart. So I never expected that being a part of PlanDisney was going to make me a part of something so special. I love answering guest questions, but being a part of this community is my favorite. Training was at Disneyland Resort last year and it was so special. We got to see Walt Disney's apartment at Disneyland. We rode Radiator Springs Racers at night, which was really fun. We got to visit Disney Studios in Burbank, California. So we actually got on a bus from Anaheim and we bussed up to Burbank and just really bonded with my classmates. It was really great. By the way, we were a class of 25. So I believe that was the second largest panel that they've had. After training, I flew back home to Walt Disney World. It just started off like boom. So here's the thing. The number one job that we have as panelists is to answer guest questions. We basically answer a certain amount of questions every week. Sometimes it takes me maybe like 20 minutes to answer a question. And sometimes it can take me up to like about an hour. There's just something that needs a little bit of pixie dust and research, and you really want to get that answer correct for the guest. So on average, I'll just say it takes me about 35 minutes per question. So with that being said, you can probably see that we have a really strong social media presence on PlanDisney on Instagram and Twitter. But honestly, the majority of our job is answering questions. So you really have to love writing. Sometimes you are given extras. They are totally optional, but when they ask you, you're like, look, I will be there. One extra that I was given was to be a part of a Disney Parks preschool series, which was really nice. I filmed 4 videos all about preschool and just what to do with your kids and what to eat, where to stay on property. It was the most pinch me experience that I've ever had. Am I really a panelist? Am I really filming something in front of Cinderella Castle? It was very surreal. And also later on in the year, I filmed something really cool. It was a pretty short reel that was posted onto Disney Parks Instagram page and PlanDisney panel. And it's basically gonna go in my time capsule for my family forever because my boys were in it and my husband, Hot Chocolate, was in it. So like I said, I've only been a panelist for 7 months now, but it has been the best experience in my entire life. And I hope I get to do this for as many years as possible. The year still has like 5 months to go at the time of this recording. But I do want to talk about you. So, are you going to apply to be a panelist? If you are, let me know in the comments section. I would love to root you on. I've been waiting for this moment for months. I know that's crazy. Like, I know I'm serving right now, but like, I've just been really excited about this moment of new people coming into the family. If you have any questions about what it's like being a panelist, then definitely put those questions too as you're saying hi. Let's talk about some of the things I did my first year applying that I wish I didn't do. And let's just call it do's and don'ts, because I think this will really boost your confidence when you go to apply this year. Don't pretend. You are you and other people are other people. They want to see a diverse group of people so that they can serve a diverse community of Disney lovers. And also, why make your job harder when you're filming your round 2 video or when you're answering your round 1 questions? Like, I don't want to say I was not myself the first year, because I was, but my round 2 video specifically, I feel like I did a little too much. I was a little extra. I'll show you. Ready for adventure? Tell me, are you too?
Hi Mouseketeers, I'm Mommy Leandra. Let's dive into some fun rides for little ones at Walt Disney World Resort. So my 4-year-old loves Slinky Dog Dash with its twists and turns.
Do be prepared. One of my friends, Amy, she always says that you want to be a fan of Disney. I totally agree with her, because you want to know what's going on with PlanDisney. You want to know what's going on at the parks, or on Disney Cruise Line ships. Like the Treasure's coming up next year, so hopefully you've been on Disney Parks blog and you've been looking at all of the things that the Treasure will have on it if you're applying to be a Disney Cruise Line specialist. Know your Disney stuff. Know what's going on with PlanDisney. Know what's going on with like the newest update. Don't be discouraged. I talked about this a little bit earlier in the video. Just if you have applied many times, keep applying many times. It's gonna take as long as it's gonna take. It took me 2 years. I'm extremely grateful for that. I do wanna say that, especially being someone who lives so close to the parks, because I don't stay on property as much as like some of my classmates do. And I know that if I wouldn't have made it last year, I would have been applying again this year. And if I didn't apply, if I didn't make it this year, I hands down would have applied the next year. I would have kept going until hopefully I made it. So this goes along with not being discouraged. You never really know what they need each year and what the demand is, and who knows what the factors are, honestly. Do proofread your answers when you're applying, but also your video like this,
but only after riders swap at Seven Dwarfs Mine Train across the way.
Riders switch or riders swap. So just take your time, answer the questions, proofread them 500 times. I have this little thing I do as an English teacher where I tell my students to read their answers backwards up, right? Because when you read them forward, you already kind of know what you wrote in order. So by reading your answers backwards, it's changing like your expectation, and you could probably catch mistakes that way. It's really important that they see that you can write and catch mistakes. Not that we're perfect. If you go on the website, you'll see that we make mistakes all the time. I think I said, may the four be with you or something once for a Star Wars answer, so it happens. Don't worry about things that you cannot control in this process. So when you hit submit, you hit submit. You know, if you live close to Disney like I do, go party at Disney. If you don't live close to Disney, go grab some of your lounge flat bags or your Minnie Mouse ears and rock it. Because it's out of your control, right? The panel is made up of all types of people, from so many different types of backgrounds. Maybe they need they need someone who has a family of 6. Maybe they need someone, you know, who goes to Disney one time a year, and they can tell people how to maximize that one time of year. But you can't control that, so don't worry about it. So this leads me to a do. Do talk to people about it. There's so many groups that you can join on social media where you can talk about these things. Sometimes they have graphics that you can post saying, oh, I made it to round 2. So you have people cheering you on online, which is not a requirement, by the way. I have friends on the panel with me who literally, they're not on the internet hardly at all or social media at all. But it's just a way to pass the time. So talk about it, but don't worry about it, because, and by the way, they read every single application, so you will never be overlooked. Just put your best foot forward. Don't worry about it, and just smile and enjoy the process. So now I just want to share some resources with you. So if this video didn't take up enough of your time, and listen to some other people. So Amira, she hosted a PlanDisney podcast episode that's all about the search process, and you'll hear 3 panelist stories. So you get a lot of bang for your buck, and she kind of shares a little bit of her experience too. So that's 4. I'll link that down below. You can also check out Brianna's YouTube video from last year. I watched her video so many times. It was really, really helpful for me. And even deciding if like, hey, do I really want to put myself through this crazy process again? I feel like she goes a lot in depth, if I remember correctly, about like what PlanDisney is in general, because I feel like I just did a really bad job at explaining what in the world has been taking up all my time off of YouTube. And you can just ask me questions here in the comment section down below. I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. And if you want to hear more from me, definitely hit that subscribe button to see some Florida family fun. I have 2 young boys. I have a husband named Hot Chocolate. His name is really Etzer. I have a lot of restaurant reviews. I even have a video series from a long time ago when my family takes a road trip from Disney World to Disneyland and back. So you have plenty of stuff to watch while I start making some magic and putting more content on this channel. And good luck on your Plan Disney journey, on your planning your vacation journey. So anyway, I'm Mommy Leandra, and remember, I care.